Good morning, everybody. This is Lainey from Camp Joy Farms. It is Saturday morning, March 26th, and I have about 10,000 things that I need to get done for Camp Joy Farms this weekend. However, I've kind of come to a grinding halt, or a semi-halt. I'm going to try to get some things done today if I can, but I've got to pace myself, and I've got to sit down every now and then and things like that. What happened is, I was doing a video Thursday. Thursday was really my first full day that I could devote to planting, and I had about 3 days worth of planting that I needed to get done, just from morning till evening, in between kind of taking breaks to help my husband, but pretty much hitting it from morning to night. I needed 3 days to plant, and I felt like Thursday, Friday, Saturday would be wonderful. Sunday I could still do some work, but we could just get out of the house and go somewhere if we needed to. But I had told my husband, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I really need to count on being at home, not going anywhere, and just getting some things done. And I made the mistake of saying in the video that I was filming Thursday, I made the mistake of saying that I have to really do things a certain way when I'm planting to protect my back. I said in the video that I can't afford to hurt my back because if mama goes down, the whole family goes down. Well, I didn't hurt my back. I did not hurt my back, and I'm glad to say that. But before that night was over, I went down with a stomach virus, of all things. I didn't see it coming, and I should have known. I went in there to cook supper Thursday night and put a coat on. I had been out in the sun all day, so I just kind of thought, well, I'm not used to being inside today. I've been outside so much. Maybe that's why I'm getting cold. So I put a coat on, and right there standing over the stove, the gas stove, frying quesadillas, which usually makes me hot, and I ended up with a coat on. I should have saw something coming then. And then by 8:30, I had a lot of things I could have done, even just updating my computer and just thinking out what I needed to do the next day, so that I could hit the ground running in the morning. I had a lot of thinking and planning I could have done. And at 8:30, I went and plopped on the couch, put the recliner back on the couch, and shut my eyes. And my husband was like, "What are you doing?" Because I don't ever do that. I normally, there's clothes to do. Pretty much, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying I'm it. If we're going to have clean clothes, I do the clothes. If we eat, I do the cooking, so there's always something to do in our house. And I'm always busy these days. So for me to just stop everything and go plunk on the couch at 8:30 that night was unusual, but I did, and it felt good. I ended up taking a bath and going to bed. I think I was in the bed by 9:30, and he stays up and watches TV. So usually if I can, I'll just doze a little bit, and then I'll get up later and go put him on the couch. And anyway, it's just a routine we have, since his stroke. But anyway, when I woke up to do that for him later, I knew something was not right. I did not feel good. I had the chills, and I was like, here we go. I'm getting sick. And I was up all during the night that night, the next morning, and just did not feel good. And you know how it is with the stomach virus, it just wipes you out. So Friday, even though I had stopped throwing up and gotten a little better, I was just wiped out. I could get up and help him up when he needed to go to the restroom or something like that, but then that was about it. That would wipe me out. So I would end up laying back down just to get my energy back from getting up to help him. I did a video a while back. It's probably one of my least watched videos, but I liked it. But it was called Saving Time on the Back End. If you want to go back and look at it, it was called Saving Time on the Back End. And in that video, I made homemade biscuits. And I told in there about how making these biscuits was going to help me save time later on, because it would have quick breakfasts that I could cook for my husband and my family, especially on weekends when my son is home. And it would just save me time rather than having to make biscuits all the time, or if I was out of bread or things like that, it would come in handy. Well, guess what? Friday morning, my husband needed breakfast, and my son had gone to work. If I didn't get up and cook him something, he was not going to eat. So I was out of toast. I didn't have any canned biscuits or anything. And thank goodness I remembered I have those biscuits. And so I was able to just get a cookie sheet out, put 3 of those biscuits on there for him. I had some bacon left over in the fridge, thank goodness, that was already cooked. So I was able to put those biscuits in the oven and then go lay back down. And I woke up, I set my timer and kind of woke up when I knew I needed to go in there and check them. I just had to put his bacon in the microwave, butter the biscuits. Well, there's a process. I had to put his medicine on a tray, get him something to drink, some orange juice and all, and bring it to him in the den, and then go lay back down. But I was so thankful for those biscuits. And I recommend that you go back and watch that video. And if you know how to make biscuits, if you have a little recipe, make a bunch of them up. Just put them on trays, flash freeze them, and put them in Ziplocs so that you'll have them. Especially with all this going on now with food and everything. Just don't spend money on those big, expensive bagged or canned biscuits when you can make them so easily at home, and they're so handy. But jumping ahead, I could not go outside Friday and do anything. And even though I wasn't up cooking and things like that, I had to get him breakfast. At some point, I went in there and ate something. My son comes home that night, and thank goodness, my sister and my mom brought me pizza. They were coming through nearby and they stopped at a Little Caesars and they brought us pizza for supper Friday night. So that came in so handy. But we use those plates and everything. So I'm going to show you, this is what happened when mom goes down and there's nobody doing the dishes but mom. And let's don't forget the garbage. There's always garbage. I think that's so funny. And that's so typical at so many houses. You think you're staying on top of things, and then you go down for one day and kaboom, it all just goes crazy. And so Friday night, I was feeling better, but weak. And so I came in the den again. I was trying to stay away from my husband as much as possible. I certainly did not need him getting a stomach virus. So I would do as little as I had to take care of him. And then I stayed away from him as much as I could all day Friday. But I just needed a change of scenery too. So I came in the den and sat way away from him. And it was late in the evening and my son came home from work. And he came downstairs all of a sudden and he had this big old pile in his hands of pillows and comforters and everything, and he headed to the washroom. And I just watched him and I'm thinking, who's washing all that? And then he came down again. He went back up, he came down again, and he had all kind of winter jackets and winter coats. And I just flat out asked him, what are you doing with all that? The pile was about 2.5 feet deep and took up my whole washroom floor. And he said, I just need to clean them. I hadn't washed them in a while. And I said, okay, well, the washing powder's on the on the washer. You need to handle that. And he said, oh, I will. Well, what he was really cleaning his room for and all was he had a buddy coming over to spend the night, and they were getting up at 5 this morning to go fishing. So that's why he was kind of clearing all that out of his room. Well, he never actually ended up going in there and actually washing any of it. But I told him, I said, I'll keep an eye on it. I'll make sure nobody messes with it so that when you get back, it'll be there. And sure enough, I'm glad to report this morning when I walked into the washroom, it was all still there. And nobody had broke in during the night and stole any of it. It was all still there. So when he gets back from fishing this afternoon, it'll be there safe for him and he can wash it. Because mom is not up to that right now. Let me interrupt this program to say that instead of going fishing today, he ended up going crabbing. And he brought home some really nice blue crabs and he boiled them. And here's one right now that he saved for his mom. So I guess I may end up doing a couple of loads of that wash. You never can tell. I appreciate him doing that, and I do love some boiled crabs. I'm in a rocker on my porch behind me, looking at my gardens that need me so bad. And I'm doing it by the littles today. I'm doing it by the littles. Because even though I might feel a little better, I walked out there a while ago and I did plant 30 feet of zucchini seeds, which you don't plant them right up on each other. I planted them about 2 feet apart. So it wasn't that many seeds. And I just did that and came back in the house and ended up sitting down. I don't want to go out there and get too hot because I certainly don't want to have all day Sunday relapsed or anything like that. So I'm taking it by the littles. I've got some cucumber seeds in my pocket right here. I'm going to go do 30 feet of those in a little bit and then probably come back up here under the carport and sit down. What caught my attention while I was out there though was my tomato plants that I planted the other day. Some of them look wonderful and some varieties all look wonderful. They didn't get any transplant shock or anything when I put them out in the ground. I did that. I got all my tomato plants finally planted on Wednesday, 105 tomato plants. But we haven't had any rain since then. I did water in the roots. When I planted them down in the hole, I watered the roots with a little root stimulator diluted in a gallon of water. And I watered them in that way, and then I covered them with dirt and everything. But we haven't had any rain since then, and I'm sure they've used that water. So today I noticed all my Cherokee purples look a little bit stressed. And I think my Italian heirloom tomatoes did. And then when I got my husband to drive me over to his garden on the other side of the beach, and my Atkinson tomatoes that I planted early Wednesday morning, they look a little bit stressed. Not all of them, but some of them. So I've got a gallon today of just a light dilution of Miracle Grow in water. And I'm just going to go pour on the top of all those tomatoes. But I have to do it. I have to get it done. He can drive me over there. And this garden right here by my house, I can do it little by little and to get it done. It's just, you know, you make plans and they say God laughs. And I guess so. You know, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, my big push days. That's my big days. I was going to just really get a lot done. Well, Friday's a blur. It's gone. Saturday's here and I'm creeping. So it might turn into Thursday, Sunday, and Monday. I don't know. They say we have some storms maybe coming next week, but I haven't pinpointed any of that yet. And I'm actually okay with it raining. I need the rain to come to rain in these beans I planted and all, because that was another thing I was going to get done is to pull some hoses and set up my sprinkler and get a lot of that watered in when I planted. However, I was going to do that after I planted my black-eyed peas and some zipper cream peas, and so that the water could hit all the rows at once. But now, I didn't get that done yesterday, and I don't know if I'm gonna get it done today, but that's just the way it is. So I just wanted to do a quick update, quick as I can, to say that's what's going on. I'm working hard. I have some things coming up in my garden that I'm proud of, my ideal market beans, my Blue Lake stringless pole beans, they're coming up. Some things in my little herb garden by my house that I just planted for me, they're coming up. My Mary's Meat pole beans are coming up. They're looking strong and healthy, more healthy than they did out in my garden. And it said they wanted warm soil, so that's why I planted them in the full sun in my garden last time. But I think they like it better in the partial shade up by my house. So you never know with things, you have to just try. But this is Lainey from Camp Joy Farms. Thanks so much for tuning into my channel this morning. Please like and subscribe. I will have plenty of stuff coming. I'm bouncing back. I know it's just going to be a matter of just resting a little bit more. And I'll be bounced back probably at least by tomorrow or Monday. And I have just so much going on and so much to show you. I want to show you the tomato plants, and I want to show you everything else growing in my garden. And I want to see what you're growing. Please like and comment and stay tuned. It's spring and we'll have a lot going on. Bye-bye.